So welcome to the Division 8 meeting, and it's time to call the meeting to order. We're calling to order 2:02, right? All right. The clock is behind. All those in favor of canceling daylight savings time? Quite a few. All right. And it's April 12th, if you didn't know. So everybody signed in, I know, because Miss Barbara has been asking you as you come in, did you sign in? And most of you were smart enough to heed the warning. We have some new members. You can see. None of these new members are here today, but I think, Russ, do we have a new member online?
I don't, I see Jody, but I don't know Jody's last name. So is he a new member?
Jody is not new this month, but Jody is a relatively new member. He was at the train show, but he hasn't been to a meeting before, I don't believe.
Well, he's here now.
He's entered in the contest.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, he is. Welcome, Jody.
What's his last name?
Thank you.
Jody, what's your last name?
McNutt.
McNutt.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining.
And also, there he is. We have a Bob. I'm not sure if that's our
Bob Larger, is that you?
This is Bob Larger.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my picture to show up.
Well, that's okay. You have an hour and a half. Probably get it up there. We have you listed as a new member up here on the screen as Robert, but you're called
That's
Bob.
okay. I go by Bob.
Okay, good. We don't have any Bobs, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We actually have a bunch, Robert.
And Ron, what was Bob's last name?
Larger.
Larger.
Thank you.
That means he's larger than you, Russell.
As in van life.
Welcome, new folks.
Thanks.
And visitors. We also have, well, while we're on the new folks, I see that Steve Blandford is here. You all remember Steve from the Christmas dinner, right?
Yeah, this is his first meeting now.
This is his first meeting,
Welcome.
so welcome. Nice to see you, Steve. And we have
Some visitors.
a visitor.
If you're
We
ready.
have a Doug Hilton. There he is. How'd you get here today, Doug?
I come with Dorsey.
Oh. Oh, okay.
And I've got a couple of visitors from the CID. Where do they go? There they are. There's Al and Matt. Matt is the corner, Al's to his right.
And Bob, for the benefit of people who don't know that acronym.
Oh, Central Indiana Division. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. So I think it goes from Columbus, right?
The Central Indiana Division of the Midwest region, right? They're in a whole different region than we are, right?
Yes.
Yeah, what
Yes.
region are they?
Midwest region.
Midwest. Okay, yeah. Midwest.
Yeah.
But Don is right. Did you hear what Don said?
What did Don-
We're all model railroaders.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's Al.
Welcome, model
He
railroaders.
signed in there. I don't know. Matt Baldwin, A-H,
I'll help you.
A-L-H-B-R-A.
I'll help you with it later.
And Ron,
Yes, Russell.
don't want to forget our guest speaker today is a visitor, Norm Logan, all the way from the cold North Michigan. So
Oh, we'll see Norm. We'll see more of Norm later in the meeting. There he is. Fred's put his picture up there. Norm. Hey, Norm. Good to see you. So, that's who it was. I remember. We have somebody who's a regular member, been a member forever, but hasn't come to a meeting in person for a little while. Kevin Jones.
Oh my
Nice
God.
to see you, Kevin. We usually see Kevin online.
Former member and former officer. Current member, former officer.
Member forever and former officer. That's
Yeah.
right. Thank you. Thank you, Bob. All right, that's enough of that. Minutes from the last meeting. Who'd like to have the minutes of the last meeting read? Nobody. Okay, good.
I do bring them just in case.
Yeah.
Move they were accepted.
Yeah, motion.
Motion to accept the minutes printed in the pack card.
So moved.
Seconded.
Well, they're not actually printed in the play card, but they're online.
Third.
It's almost the same thing, but yes. Do I have a second?
Mark Edge.
Second. Third.
All right, Mark, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's good, Rick. Way to go. There you go. That's good. Treasurer's report.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
You skipped one there, boss. There you go. There you go.
I'm getting all excited here, Mike.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is, our first meeting since the, spring train show and sale, which seems like forever ago now. It was a month ago, but it seems like forever. But at any rate, so there's a couple extra little line items on our monthly report based on the, train show itself. So let's get into the monthly treasurer's report. On the expense side, any other questions? That's it.
Thank you, Mike.
I make a motion to approve the report as
Stumbled through?
stumbled through by Mike.
Second. All those in favor of approving Mike?
Hey.
Any opposed? Any against Mike? I didn't think so. Mike's the best.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
He's bigger than a lot of us, so.
Yeah, we're not gonna impose it. Don't make you mad, quit, so we also have to do all that.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, we're on to committee reports, and guess who the first report is? Mike Berry with member welfare.
It's a good one this month. See what it says on the screen? Goose
No
egg,
report.
goose egg. Nobody that I know of. Bagel. That has, had a night in the hospital or worse, lost some family member. As I always say, please let us know if something comes up. We'd hate for somebody to feel like they just got ignored, when in fact, that's not the case. So, pass the word along. If somebody, you know, someone that does have to spend a night in the hospital or like I said, have a death in the family.
Yep. In general, if you see something, say something.
Yeah.
I mean, something railroad oriented, not just.
Right. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Oh, we have a special presentation today from the National Model Railroad Association Board of Directors. Fred, step up here.
Cool, let's do this.
You ready? You guys ready?
I'm wearing my Central District Director on the National Model Railroad Association Board of Directors hat right now. I'm not the technology guy here. I'm not the assistant superintendent. I'm now representing the national board. Mr. Dawson, if you come up, please. And we have a little certificate here, National Model Railroad Association Board of Directors, wishes to recognize Robert L. Dawson and appreciate the 50 years of membership in the association.
I just want to say one thing. I didn't even know there was an organization for anybody that played with trains at all. Until one day I ran into Bob Johnson at a hobby shop. And he invited me to a meeting, and then I learned I worked with the guy, but mainly it was that guy there.
Bob,
He was
Bob.
he was the Pied Piper in his day.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He brought me in too.
Hey, Bob.
I still suck them in.
Yeah. Couple of these guys, I wish you'd turn the other way, but that's another story. Congratulations, Bob.
Thank you.
And now it's time for the Bob Kukler Show. It's
Cheat sheet?
It's my cheat sheet, but I forgot to fill it in. So we're gonna grab one and big surprise. This is for Cecil Stewart. Cecil Stewart has a merit award for a T&NO diner.
that was the same one that you entered in the contest, right, Cecil?
Yeah.
And this is for Barbara Seward. And this is the certificate of achievement for author gets her one closer to being a master model railroader.
Thank you, Bob. And now it's time for monthly, that's kind of a tongue twister, isn't it? Time for the contest, how about that?
9 entries this, and so start with the honorable mentions. So the first honorable mention is Bob Frankron for his Catskill Mountain Scenic Railroad car. Jody McNutt, one of our newest members, with the NRV Tours car. Cecil Stewart with the one that just won the award, T&NO Diner number 907. And Eric Wagner with his L&N Tavern car. And when you have so many entries and a lot of people voting, and there were also 43 votes this time in the contest, which is really, I think that's probably a record, isn't it? Okay, and so in this particular contest, we actually had a 3-way tie for third place. So for third place, we've got Ed Brennan with his L&N heavyweight construction, heavyweight observation car. Randy Griggs with his UP Lynn Nostrum combination tool baggage car, and Bob Cookler with his Milwaukee Road coach and bunk car. So then that brings us to second place, which is Bruce DeMayer for his BNSF Skagit River track measurement car. And then for first place, Steve Lasher with the Michigan Central Railroad observation car number 10. So that's a long name there. So, so for May, the contest is for cabooses. And like I said, don't forget to check the show and tell table on your way out or during break.
Lots of stuff on the show and tell table.
Tough, these monthly contests are tough to vote. They really are.
They're really getting a lot of competition.
Programs and meetings, Russell, you ready?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's say that.
So, guys and gals, today we're very pleased to have Norm Logan with us. Norm is from my old stomping grounds in southern Michigan, and Norm lives just a stone's throw away from where the national convention will be. So Norm and his crew's been working hard on that. So we're glad to have him with us today. You may remember a couple of months ago, we had somebody that, toted backdrop, mostly photographic type. Well, I think you're really going to be wowed today by Norm's painting of backdrop. So more on Norm in just a few minutes. Next month, we'll be holding the meeting at for the LaGrange Rail Fest in LaGrange at the community center there. And yours truly is going to give the model railroading basics there. I gave that a couple of years ago at the Spencer County Library that went over very well. So it's a kind of a quick and dirty comeback version of start to finish on a model railroad. And then our own Bob Dawson's going to give the one-to-one story on the LaGrange trolley and interurbans. So that should be a fun talk there. And we are having non-Division 8 members. They are welcome. So if you know of some friends that would like to get on this and maybe get a little taste of model railroading, then please invite them. So after today, we say goodbye. If you'd like, Bob Frank Rowan has opened up his layout to us. There's the address, and I think there'll also be, before you leave, some printed versions of that. Down at the bottom, a couple of bullet points that enter through the front door and somebody will kick you down to the basement. No, we'll guide you down to the basement. So looking forward to seeing what Bob's done since the last time he had his open house. So thank you, Bob, for doing that.
You're welcome. Russ, let me just, talk about parking for a second.
Sure.
Anybody that does come, and you're all welcome to come, even if you didn't RSVP, there's plenty of, snacks and goodies for everyone. Please park on the street and, come to the front door of the house. You know, you can't miss it. It's got 4 white columns. And, hope everybody can make it.
Okay. Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome.
There's no handouts for the address, unfortunately. So if you forget where you're going, stop by and we'll give you the address before you head out to Bob's. Thank you for opening up.
Oh, absolutely.
Russell, what else?
Well, all right. Well, let me just put in a plug too that, you know, we've had myself and Stan and Rick, now Bob open up their layout. So once again, you know, next month, we obviously, it wouldn't be a good deal. You know, June's open, you know what's happening in July. But once again, guys, that this is a great way that if you've been procrastinating, this is a great deadline to give yourself to get things done. So please consider that to let the other members see what you're doing. So Ron, I'll give it back to you, sir.
Thank you, Russell. And yes, LaGrange Rail Fest 175. That stands for 175 years of trains going through downtown LaGrange. So the city of LaGrange contacted us some time ago saying, hey, we're having a hootenanny up here in LaGrange. We'd like to get you guys involved. And we said, well, that's good. Good luck with that. But then as time came on, we got more acquainted with the city there and agreed to basically host a venue, their city hall venue, which was it's actually a converted church that has a gymnasium and a meeting room. So we're gonna have our meeting there next month in LaGrange at the LaGrange City Hall. We'll publish the address and all that, but it's on 146 going through downtown LaGrange. You can't miss it. There's plenty of parking around there. And we're gonna have some layouts. Caissons are gonna be there. The Southern Indiana Railroad is gonna be there. And some others, along with some dealers. We will have a Division 8 table where we're gonna be selling memberships in the National Model Railroad Association, talking to people about trains, answering questions about trains. Stan will be there as our membership chairman. It's gonna be a nice day. And it is open to the reason that we're having Russ do his Welcome to Model Railroading and Bob do something about the local history is because the meeting is going to be open to the public and advertised. Come to the Division 8 meeting if you want to learn about the National Model Railroad Association. So 2 p.m. we'll be broadcasting live if you can't make it in person. Did I leave anything out, Fred?
Mr. Conductor will be there.
Mr. Oh, how could I miss that?
Trade show, Mr. Conductor will be
What an
there.
idiot.
By
Mr. Conductor.
official request.
Why, yes.
And there are a lot of events, a lot of things going on all day, that day in LaGrange. This is not the only thing happening. So come out and spend the day.
And I think they're having some music the night before. It's a whole hootenanny, as Russ
Street
likes to
vendors,
say.
got street vendors there for food and everything.
Yeah, there'll be
Bands,
food.
live bands.
And you might get to meet the mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Black, Mayor of LaGrange.
Done there.
It's a great guy.
Real fast.
Train show and sale, November 15th, 2025. Don't forget the fall show. It'll be here before you know it. We're already working on it. All the dealer tables are sold. All we need to do is get some people to come and visit and see all our train stuff. Thanks to everybody who contributed to the spring show and its great success. And with that, it's time for meeting adjournment, but back to basics.
But we have a back to basics this month. So I was thinking, you know, I'm always challenged about what to do for back to basics. This was an easy one.
Hello?
You know, that was an easy one. So I'm gonna talk to you about NMRA Achievement Program Model. What?
I think I could probably do that.
But it says my name. Okay, fine. Okay. Trust me, she will.
Okay, so let's start with the requirements have been updated in January 2025, which was good for me because I wouldn't have qualified had they not been updated. So, yet, anyway, I'd have had to work a little bit longer and harder. So let's just start with a little bit of an overview of Master Model Railroader, the requirements. There's 4 major categories: the model railroad equipment, settings, engineering and operations, and service to the hobby. And you have to have at least 1 certificate from each of those areas. And here's the breakdown, the different categories within the major areas. Master builder, y'all probably already know most of this because there's a lot of model MMRs in the room. And you have to have at least 7 certificates, 1 from each of the 4 areas. This is the one that qualifies, where author comes in to the service to the hobby. So the requirements are you need to earn 42 points, and that can include publications and presentations. You can only get 21 points from a division level or NMRA club publications. Material can be either printed or electronically published, but you can only count each thing once, and each clinic only counts once. So these are some of the things that you can do for an author. You can do articles, columns, photos, artwork, scale drawings, or NMRA data, or you can do live clinics at different events and informal publications. So even if you didn't, if it's self-published book or website or something like that, that can still count. Okay, so a formal publication is defined as something that is managed by an editor, and a page is 800 words. Formerly 1,200 words. That's kind of how I was able to get this earlier than what was planned. And photos used to be, you had to have a quarter page per issue or edition to count. Now you can actually count them individually, but you have to kind of figure out how much of a page it qualifies for. What?
So that means you can have just an eighth of a page. You can have a picture as small as an eighth of a page, and that'll count now?
Yes.
Cool.
And a national publication is defined as something that has at least 1,000 subscribers. And that kind of gives you the idea of the points that you can get for each thing. So the first one's an article or a column. It's a national publication, 3 points, or NMRA national, 3 points, regional 2 points, and division 1 point. So the higher up the food chain you get, the more points you get. So you can get there a lot quicker.
Question, does it have to be a railroad magazine?
It has to be railroad related.
I've seen railroad articles in electronic magazines.
As long as it's railroad related.
The electronic media counts also?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so
But let me clarify.
okay.
Not posting to Facebook, because there's no editor.
No, there's a 187 vehicle club,
Well,
and I've got pictures on there.
model railroad hobbyists.
Hmm?
Model railroad hobbyists.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay, so then for clinics, you have to be the person that's talking. It has to be 30 minutes in length, and you have to have a handout, but you don't have to give the handout out. You just have to have one. And you can only count each clinic 1 time. So when you think about it, and look at the points, if you give it at a national event, it's 6 points, region 4, division 2. So you can actually practice it at the division and region, and then go for after you've done it a couple of times, then count the one that you do at national, get the more bang for the buck. Okay, and here's a little bit more. The material must cover model railroading, prototype railroading, and it must be applicable to the NMRA or NMRA administration, or applicable to some kind of modeling. Must be kind of educational in nature and accessible in a public forum. It can't be behind something, some private thing that you have to pay for. And if you do a URL to it, which is I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute, it has to be functional. They have to be able to get to the URL. And it's got to be your original work, and you have to give credit for any kind of photos or anything that you use from other people. This is how and I say we because Fred is the one who created a spreadsheet for me, but he used Excel and created a spreadsheet to track the points. And he divided it into, and this is how he did his, I'm sure too, all of his certificates. So just divided it into the categories so that you know how much each one was worth. And you can see it took me, the first time that I submitted any photos to the pie card, and the majority of mine was pie card. Bob always needs pictures and things and articles for the pie card. So even though that's not, you don't get the higher amount of points, look at the points on that I got from the pie card things. And it started in June 2013 to 2020 or 2025. So it took me a while. Took Fred a little bit longer. I think his first article was in 1981. And that he wasn't a member of the NMRA at the time, but that still counts. Some of these clinics, like I co-presented one with Fred, so I got like half a point. And then I had prepared one to do, if you remember, about the Texas convention, and I lost my voice, and so Fred had to present my clinic. So I didn't get anything. I didn't get anything for that. So even though I did it, so yeah. And then the article for for Indy Junction, I wrote a summary article with Fred's photos, and that was pretty much probably because that was considered a national publication. That one, and it was several pages. Cynthia really used a lot of that one, so that really kind of bumped it up a little bit too.
So you got the points for the text, but not the photos.
Right. And then Fred wrote an article, and I used my photos toward the end of this. I don't know, I guess April, just this recently. So I got points for that too, and that's what pushed it over the edge. So what do you have to say about it?
I think everybody ought to go online and just see what the requirements are to get a master model certificate.
What does he always say?
Oh, just
Do the paperwork. So,
But
if you
they
remember,
really should though. I mean, if you look and see, I guarantee you most of the people here will look and they'll say, well, I didn't know that would count towards master model certificate.
Yep.
And, you know, you look and see, you probably have some, or at least partially the way towards getting the achievement thing, the certificate, and you probably have stuff that can get judged.
Yep.
when he did his acceptance speech, if y'all remember, that's what he said over and over, just do the paperwork.
That's pretty much what it is.
And the paperwork for author is not that big a deal. Here's the papers. Now, I did the paperwork myself, except, you know, he maintained the spreadsheet, but I summarized it all and put it on these forms and submitted it. So, and then, okay, so this is basically in summary. You need a copy of your tracking sheet. And this is what I submitted with the form. Copy of the tracking spreadsheet, copies of the handouts that I made but didn't give out. And the copy of the LD-SIG article, which was one of them, a copy of the NMRA article. And instead of giving them, I don't know how many, 50 articles, 50 pie card things, we just gave them a link to the pie card and an active link, and that counted. And they were able to go verify it, whatever they needed to do to verify that. That's it. So everybody go out and get your author. It feels good.
If you have any questions about any of this or any AP, we have always master model railroaders. They're happy to answer your questions. That's part of their mandate is to help. Let's take a 5-minute break.